Sometimes when watching Pokemon Go PvP, you may think to yourself, how on earth did that battler possibly win that game? They had terrible alignment throughout. The opponent seemed to have counters at every turn, yet somehow, when the dust settled, that battler was able to emerge victorious. First, before we hop into the battles, a brief introduction. My name is Henry, and I am one of the official casters for the Play Pokemon Go competitive circuit. And today, we're going to be taking a look at battles from the Play Pokemon competitive circuit itself, and a few from the in-game ladder, which is Go Battle League, where battlers were able to do the impossible and win despite being hard countered. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches, and let's take a look at some truly extraordinary games. The first match we'll be taking a look at is going to be Zweiros versus Anacore, and this battle was from the winners semifinals of the Birmingham Regional Championships. The lead matchup is a bad one for Zweiros Diggersby into Dugong, and as we take a look in the back, this alignment is terrible for Zweiros. Charjabug is going to eventually be met with Unova Stunfisk, which absolutely destroys it, and Corsola is going to be met with Superior, and Superior has a neutrally winning matchup. So across the board, no matter what he switches in, losing matchups await Zweiros. So how can he possibly win this game? The game begins, Diggersby into the Dugong, one quick attack and a safe switch to Corsola. Anacore does not switch in Superior, but instead looks to guarantee that matchup with an Icy Wind debuff. Immediate no shield from Zweiros, there's the switch into Superior, and now that the Corsola is debuffed, Corsola can put up even less of a fight than it typically would. Debuff to Nightshade, not going to do a whole lot to Superior. Superior farming up quite a bit, and Corsola is going to go for another Nightshade. Again, this is a debuff to Nightshade, so not going to do a lot of damage. Zweiros is farming up, and now he has a choice to make. By staying in with the Dugong to debuff, Anacore desynced the switch timers. This means Zweiros can now switch in the Charjabug. The clock's not up for Anacore. He's going to lose this energy unless he throws it. So he's forced to throw the Frenzy Plant onto the Charjabug when it would be better throwing that Frenzy Plant anywhere else. He's now going to switch into Unova Stunfisk, and unfortunately for Zweiros, he's back in absolutely terrible alignment. These Volt Switches are triple resisted. They look like they are healing Unova Stunfisk, whereas Unova Stunfisk is able to spam out these neutral Mud Bombs with great speed. Mud Bomb is going to connect. Charjabug, after one more charge attack, Zweiros' switch timer will be up. Anacore's, however, will not be, due to the fact that he stayed in with the Dugong. In comes the Diggersby. Diggersby could make a Scorching Sands before Anacore is able to switch out, so Anacore is forced to throw a Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb connects, switch timer available for Anacore. He stays in to bank a move and catch onto the Dugong, but for Zweiros, this works out. I mean, this is not good alignment, but now he has an energy advantage over that Dugong, and the switch timers misalign even further. So Zweiros is doing his best, trying to dance in and out of these matchups, trying to desync the timer when possible, trying to generate any possible advantage. Icy Wind, of course, coming through onto the Diggersby. One shield remaining for the Diggersby. It's going to use it here, and the switch timer is available. There's a switch to Charjabug. Charjabug firing off the X-Scissor. This is neutral, but it will KO the low health Dugong. Anacore will commit the shield. Switch timer's up. There's the switch to the Stunfisk, and Stunfisk will go for the Mud Bomb, and this will finally remove Charjabug from the field of play. But Anacore, his switch timer is not going to be available for a while. So now Zweiros gets to bring back in the Diggersby instantly, and Diggersby is not threatened whatsoever by Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb is going to connect. Diggersby looking to farm up. A Fire Punch could have knocked out here, but Zweiros taking no chances at a 1 HP survive, going for the Scorching Sands. That's going to KO. Down goes the Stunfisk. The Superior is too low. It's all up to the Dugong, but there's the switch and the catch by Zweiros. We are going to see an undercharge by the Dugong. Dugong going to try and make it to another move. There's the switch to Superior. It gets farmed down as well. And Zweiros, despite never having switch advantage, was able to dance in and out of the matchups. Anacore desynced the timers, and Zweiros was able to, with near perfect play, overcome that hard counter matchup and win a game that he basically had no chance of winning at the start. We now move to the Latin American International Championships, and it's a matchup between Desync and LNDS Nando. And it's a terrible lead for Desync, leading Abomasnow into Dunsparce. In the back, there's a Clodsire for Desync and a Gastrodon for Nando. And for Desync, he has a Primeape and there's a Shadow Drapion. Shadow Drapion is able to outpace the Primeape. Even though Aqua Tail doesn't KO, it inflicts massive damage. So even though that matchup is okay, the lead and the mid-game matchups look terrible for Desync. So let's unfreeze the battle and watch how it went. Abomasnow is going to save switch into Clodsire. No desyncing of the switch timer here. LNDS Nando brings out the Gastrodon instantly, and this is a terrible spot to be in as desynced. Poison Sting does less than nothing to Gastrodon, and Gastrodon's Mud Slaps are absolutely shredding through the bulky Clodsire. Earthquake is going to connect. Gastrodon looking to overfarm quite significantly, and Earth Power is reached. And this will be able to KO that Clodsire. Desync is actually going to commit a shield here, shielding up the Earth Power, has enough for the Earthquake, and Earthquake is now going to be shielded by the Gastrodon. Gastrodon still in a commanding matchup here. Gastrodon is going to look to farm up extra energy. Gastrodon is going to throw right before the Earthquake is reached, but desynced with the switch out, catching a move onto Abomasnow, and catching a move desyncs the switch timers. It also saves energy on the Clodsire. There's the switch back into the Dunsparce. Dunsparce is going to go for the Rock Slide. Rock Slide is going to be reached before an Icy Wind debuff can be applied. Desync choosing to let this go. Rock Slide is going to connect. That's significant damage to the Abomasnow. Abomasnow going to fire off this Energy Ball. Energy Ball non-lethal here by any means, but will inflict some solid damage onto that Dunsparce, and that's definitely the goal. Dunsparce is going to get a full farm down, and it exits with quite a bit of energy, and Desync is now in a tricky position. In comes the Primeape. Primeape is going to have to try and accomplish miracles in this endgame. LNDS Nando is going to fire off the Drill Run. Drill Run is going to connect, and already this Primeape is at half HP. There's a switch into the Gastrodon before he can fire off the Body Slam. There's the Rage Fist from Desync. Rage Fist into this Gastrodon. Is it going to be enough? The answer is yes. And now this is going to be a boosted Primeape. Primeape, I mean, these Poison Stings are adding up. We are going to see a bait here with a Rage Fist, getting the shield from Nando. Will Desync be able to hang on and make it to the close combat? He's not going to risk it. He switches into the Clodsire and he makes it to the Earthquake. Earthquake is going to be able to pick up a one-hit KO here. Earthquake removes Drapion from the field of play. Back in comes the Dunsparce. There's still a shield to hide behind for the Clodsire. Dunsparce needs to farm down, and it's not going to happen. And Desync is able to play his way out of a very scary-looking matchup, leading Abomasnow into Dunsparce. Clodsire save switch met with Gastrodon, and he is able to make it work and get the win. The next matchup we'll be taking a look at is also from the Latin American International Championships. Nighttime Clasher versus Gandok. And it's a bad lead for Nighttime Clasher, Ariados into Shadow Drapion. Shadow Drapion just Aqua Tails as soon as it gets it, so it can land some damage before the lunge debuff is applied. From there, it's able to outpace the Ariados crunches before they get to the lunges, and it's a matchup where Drapion is going to emerge victorious. And losing switch advantage will be devastating for Nighttime Clasher, as that means his Azumarill will be hit with Superior, and his Galarian Moltres will be hit with Azumarill. So things look pretty dire from the lock-in here, but let's see what Nighttime Clasher has to say about it. Nighttime Clasher is going to play out the lead matchup to start, but bank energy on the Ariados and catch the Aqua Tail onto the Azumarill. That's the only time that the Aqua Tail can be thrown, so it's a pretty safe catch. Gandok going to stay in this matchup, looking to bank a bunch of energy. Not only does the catch desync the timers, but him staying in desyncs the timers as well. Azumarill is going to fire off an Ice Beam. That's going to do solid damage into Superior. Superior is going to farm up as much as possible and go for the Frenzy Plant. Azumarill is very bulky, but it's not bulky enough to tank this Frenzy Plant. That's going to KO Azumarill, and it loses quite a bit of energy. Now you could send in the Ariados here, but Nighttime Clasher has other ideas. He already has energy on the Ariados. What he wants energy on is the Galarian Moltres. Moltres more than happy to absorb this Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant does do more damage than the Aerial Ace. Now we see a switch back into the Shadow Drapion. Drapion is going to fire off an Aqua Tail. It's a CMP tie to the Ancient Power. Aqua Tail is going to connect. The Moltres barely hanging on. Ancient Power no shielded by Gendok as he knows this is not enough energy for a Brave Bird. The Ancient Power connects. There's a switch into Ariados, and Ariados is going to fire off the Lunge. The Lunge is shielded by Gendok. Gendok, he still has his Azumarill lurking in the back, and the Superior, both of which do not want to deal with Ariados. Ariados is going to shield up the Aqua Tail bait. Ariados will get outpaced here. Ariados, this is a debuffed move, but it will inflict some pretty decent damage. Nighttime Clasher is going to commit the final shield. Nighttime Clasher, can he get a farm down here? No, he cannot, and he's going for a Trailblaze. He wants to boost up his damage. Trailblaze is going to be shielded. The opponent gets to the crunch, but he's able to make the catch onto the Galarian Moltres. Saving that Ariados, he was forced to give up the boost to catch, but now in comes Azumarill, and he's going to go for the Trailblaze. The biggest issue facing this Ariados is this Ariados could potentially run out of HP. Ariados now at +1. Ariados goes for a Lunge. This is a boosted resisted move. It will not KO, but Nighttime Clasher knows the most valuable resource he has remaining in this game is the health that's on the Ariados. Ariados now going to be hit with an Ice Beam, but this is a debuffed Ice Beam, which means Ariados can actually survive. Ariados is going to make the Trailblaze. Trailblaze will be able to KO, and now this is a double boosted Ariados. It's very low, but so are Gendok's remaining Pokemon. He has the Superior, which takes super effective damage, and 1 HP on a Shadow Drapion. He's forced to bring in the Superior. Superior not going to get a move. He's forced to switch out. Superior is going to get farmed down, and Nighttime Clasher able to take advantage of the fact that Ariados Drapion matchup is only bad if Ariados is at even energy. Gets the energy lead on Ariados, perfectly timing when to throw Trailblaze versus when to throw Lunge, and he's able to flip the script, overcome a terrible matchup, and steal a win from Gendok. The next match we'll be taking a look at is from the Go Battle League in the Open Great League, and it's a bad lead Walrein into Dunsparce. Immediate safe switch into Malamar. Dunsparce choosing to stay in this matchup and fire off a Drill Run. Drill Run no shielded by the Malamar. It does not knock out, but it will put the Malamar at about half HP, and now in comes Azumarill. So the opponent did desync the switch timer by staying in, but Azumarill is a complete wall to this energy from the Malamar. The reason why the opponent didn't switch in the Azumarill instantly is that Malamar does actually win the 2 shield there. But now that Malamar has taken quite a bit of damage, Malamar can no longer do so. Azumarill fires off energy, just looking to force the shield from the Malamar. Malamar is going to try and bank as much energy as it possibly can, farming to 100 and switching into Superior. But Superior will immediately be met with a loaded charge attack from the Azumarill. It's the Ice Beam, and that inflicts serious damage. Superior farming up, opponent is able to save that Azumarill and bring in Jumpluff as their final Pokemon. So this battler is doing quite a bit of dancing in and out of matchups, trying to desync the timers, but my goodness, this is a triple hard counter game. Walrein never beats Dunsparce. Malamar, after it's taken a Drill Run, cannot beat Azumarill. And there's Jumpluff in the back, the Grass Flyer versus Superior. Superior just choosing to let this go. It is going to be Acrobatics. So the opponent is on the double nuke moveset on the Jumpluff. In comes Walrein. Walrein will commit the final shield of the match, as this will be an energy ball coming out from the Jumpluff. Jumpluff, clock not available, so they will get fully farmed down. The opponent still does have the Dunsparce. Dunsparce still very healthy, as Dunsparce, all it's taken throughout the course of this match in terms of damage is 12 Psy Waves. We're going to see an Icicle Spear thrown at the Dunsparce. Dunsparce will commit the shield. Walrein farming up a ton, building up to a potential Earthquake. Earthquake will not KO, but it will do a lot of damage. So Earthquake is going to be shielded. Opponent is going to throw right away, under tapping the move on alignment, potentially anticipating a snipe attempt with Malamar. Rock Slide is going to inflict serious damage. Wall Rain is going to bank a move, and now we see the switch back into the Malamar. Malamar going for the superpower. That is going to KO the Dunspars. In comes Azumarill, and Malamar will fire off the debuffed Foul Play. Foul Play, it's not going to be enough to knock out here, especially at -1 attack, but the Wall Rain, banked energy from earlier, gets to fire off the Icicle Spear. Icicle Spear will KO the Azumarill at another game where taking advantage of the misaligned switch timers, saving energy, trying to catch moves, it all pays off in a victory. We move into the final battle, Shadow Golem versus Gastron. This is in the Color Cup. Mudslap would hit for double super effective damage, so I need to switch out. My opponent simultaneously switches into Typhlosion, and then they make a very interesting play. They go straight for the Thunder Punch. This to me is a strict misplay. The entire point of switching out instantly is so you're able to make the Blast Burn when Amoonguss makes the Foul Play. But by Thunder Punching, not only do they leave with less residual energy, but they actually still have to end up committing a shield. So even though this match is looking very difficult to win, my opponent has made a misplay, which oftentimes in these difficult matchups, you are needing to a little bit try to put your opponent in a position where they can make a mistake, and if they do make a mistake, then you're able to capitalize on it. Blast Burn, way too much damage. Golem barely clinging to life as it survives on 1 HP with a Wild Charge. In comes Jumpluff, in the back is Talonflame, and unfortunately this game looks absolutely doomed. Jumpluff is up a shield, but I'm not running Legacy Acrobatics. Acrobatics would actually two-shot the Talonflame, whereas Aerial Ace just does not have the damage needed. My opponent farming up a ton, and I throw the Aerial Ace right as they get to 100 energy. This is called cycle resetting. Now they have to either go over 100 energy or just throw an alignment. So they throw an alignment, and that gives me a free Fairy Wind. So I will commit the shield. If they decide to throw another Incinerate, I will be able to actually outpace them, so they're just going to throw on alignment again. So I get 2 free Fairy Winds, and now this is a bit of an interesting position to be in. I do have quite a bit of energy on the Jumpluff. I will go for the Aerial Ace. My opponent, they still have the Gastron in the back, and it only has 1 Mudslap of energy. They shield, I throw 1 Fairy Wind, switch and snipe with a Wild Charge on the Golem, so I'm going to be able to knock out that Talonflame. Talonflame was mid-Incinerate, they have no ability to catch. Gastron gets the second Mudslap, but Jumpluff is only 2 Fairy Winds away from the Energy Ball, 4 turns, whereas they were 6 turns away from the Body Slam. So despite being triple hard countered, it does not matter. The game ends in a win. All in all, I feel that any of these battles are very good examples of how you can use your gameplay to help fight back against difficult team compositions that your opponents may have. Because at the end of the day, specifically in the Go Battle League, you have no control over what your opponent's running. Or if you're in these Show 6 Pick 3 style tournaments, you obviously try and make the prediction as to what they're going to run, but sometimes you will inevitably get it wrong, unless you're inadequate at Utrecht. I hope this video goes to show that even when you're in those bad situations, you have a team comp disadvantage, the game is not necessarily over. And with clean play, trying to play to generating some kind of advantage, obviously you're not going to have switch advantage, shield advantage, energy advantage, or if you can desync the timer and get a little bit of switch advantage, even just for a few seconds, you can try and force your opponent to make misplays. And even a small misplay, a good player will be able to take advantage of it and flip a completely won game for the opponent into a game that the opponent, despite nearly insurmountable team comp advantage, actually ends up as the loser. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoy educational content like this, please consider leaving a like on the video and subscribing to this channel, More Slice Henry, which is my second channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I've been Home Slice Henry.